2003 through 2007 Honda Accord ignition switch replacement. I'm Brian Nessa from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you through the steps replacing the ignition switch. In this video, we're going to be replacing the electrical portion of the ignition switch. This is the part numbers that I use for it. There will be a link in the description of the video for the parts. And this is what this switch is going to look like when we get it apart. So we're going to get started by removing the covers around the steering column here. You're going to need to flip the tilt lever down like this to get access to a couple of the screws. So in these two holes here on the front of the cover, there's a Phillips screw on each one that you need to remove. So once you get the two Phillips screws out of that cover, then we need to get the knee bolster here removed so we can get to a third screw. So there's a screw in the corner here, and once you get that removed, you just pull the knee bolster panel straight out like this, and then you work your way towards the passenger side, pulling like this, and then you pull at the top right hand corner here, and this whole panel will pop off. Once you get it popped free like this, there's going to be one little electrical connector. You're just going to squeeze the tab and pull and release the connector and set the panel aside. Now with that removed, we can gain access to the third screw that's holding the cover on here. So it's right back here behind the lever. So we'll go ahead and remove that Phillips screw. So I've decided to put my Milwaukee underhood light inside the vehicle like this and just kind of prop it up on the dash and the seat here to illuminate everything. So with proper lighting, it's a lot easier to work on these. So now I'm going to use a flat blade screwdriver and put it in between the panel here and pop it apart. Once you get it popped apart, you can just pull it with your fingers and spread the two panels apart. And then you'll work your way on the opposite side of the steering column and pop the panel apart here. Then you can pull the lower portion of the cover off. And then you can leave the top cover on. We don't need to remove it. So here is the ignition switch that we're getting access to. So looking at the switch here, right here with this little brown plug is the electrical connector. You need to push the little tab here on the bottom upwards and then pull the electrical harness off the switch. So once you get the switch disconnected, you can go ahead and just tuck it downwards and out of your way for now. Next, we're going to remove the Phillips screw on the end of the switch here. So you'll remove this screw. So once you get the screw removed from here, there's going to be a second screw that comes up vertical right here that we need to get to. So you'll remove the screw right here, and you have to look underneath at it to see it. Once you get the two screws removed, then you'll just pull the switch and kind of give it a little twist to help get it out. Then you'll take your new replacement switch and reinstall it back into the lock cylinder like this. So you'll just line it up, and you'll push it on. I had to wiggle it and twist it slightly left and right to help line it up to get it to go on. But once you get it going, it'll go in. Then you can put the two screws back in. Here I am getting creative with my Milwaukee underhood light here so you guys can see better. If you haven't seen this underhood light, I recommend you checking out. I'll leave a link for it in the description of the video. So now we need to plug in the electrical connector into the switch once we got it re-secured. Usually when you put these switches in, you'll hear a click. So you want to make sure you hear that click and then give it a little pull to make sure it's really secure and doesn't have any loose connections. Now we're ready to reinstall the covers. So I lined up the top cover, make sure it was lined up. Then you'll take the bottom cover here. And the tilt lever will go through a hole in the bottom cover, so you feed that through. So there's going to be these little catches here that they snap together. So you'll line those all up and you'll squeeze the two covers together until they pop in like this, and they're flush on both sides. So you're going to do that for both sides of the cover. So you'll line up the tabs, and then once you get them lined up, you just squeeze them together, and they'll click and hold themselves together. Then you can remount the three screws that came in vertical. So you go ahead and take these three screws and put them back into the slots and tighten those up. You may have to wiggle the cover left or right slightly to get the holes to line up. Now you can take the lower panel here and plug in the electrical connector. Once you have the connector plugged in, there's going to be these little tabs here every couple of inches that mount into holes into the dash right here on the left and right side. So you'll line up those tabs with the holes, and you push until you hear them click. So you'll do both left and right side of the cover, and then you'll do the bottom here, and then you'll remount the one mounting screw here in the left hand corner. So I will link up all the parts and tools that I use in this video in the description. That way if you need any of this, you can find it there. I'm Brian Issa from How to Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos. Encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. And I'd like to thank you again for watching.